Hello, everyone. Welcome to our product launch demo. I will quickly start with the introduction. So my name is Thomas. I work at Argent as in the product team, and I'm mostly working on the Argent X side. Yes, I'm there for a year now, and yeah, it's been a super exciting ride so far. And today I want to present you basically our latest feature, which is called Argent Shield. And I will remove that. Thanks for. So, wait, we can jump to that. So, what is it in a few sentences? So, I mean, maybe let's start with broader thing. I mean, obviously at Argent, we are very focused on security for Argent X and also mobile. I mean, it's always very important that we have, the best we can do. And this is an additional security measure for your accounts. And it's called Argent Shield. And here is a quick overview, which I will go through later in detail, all these basically properties and how it works. But I think it's best to start with a demo. So let's jump to a demo. And we will launch Argent X. So this is, as you can see, a normal account. And we will now add Argent Shield to it. So you go to settings, and then you go here to your account screen. And there's now this new item, which is called Argent Shield, two-factor account protection. And you can click activate. Then it will basically give you a quick explanation intro. So it will protect your account with a two-factor authentication using your email, which you will provide. And then after it's activated, I mean, it's needed once per device and re-verified every 30 days. So after every 30 days, you need to verify. And I mean, there's no login or whatever. If you don't like it, obviously you can remove it anytime. So let's activate it. So here I will provide my email. And now it's asking me for a code. So I will go to my email account. There I get a code. I mean, it looks like that, right? Such an email. I'm copying over the code, enter it, and then it will allow me. So basically now I've authenticated to Argent Shield, and now it will allow me to add Argent as a guardian to the Argent smart contract account. So that's what we do next. So that's why you need to do a transaction, which also costs normal network fee, but not much with the current prices. And it is at Argent Shield, right? And we confirm it. And that's it. And now we need to wait until this Starknet transaction is going through. And yeah, I mean, you know, at the moment, Starknet having 2 to 4 TPS, it will take a bit. We can have a quick look, maybe how much time it will take. Oh, it's pretty fast today. That's good. But I will still jump to explaining how Argent Shield works in the meantime. So let's go through that. So, I mean, a normal account without Shield, right? I mean, as a smart contract, it's a typical main functions, validate transaction, execute transaction, living on Starknet. And here is our abstract version of Argent X, and you as a user, and you have a seed phrase, right, which is your main key. So if you want to do a transaction with a dApp, I don't know, doing a swap on Jedi Swap, for example, what needs to happen? I mean, you need to sign a transaction or this transaction with your key living in Argent X, and then it will be executed, right, through the smart contract account, and you will hopefully execute the swap successfully. Very straightforward. So if we add Shield, so how shielded accounts work. So the main difference will be, I mean, you have still your key and you're basically based on your seed phrase in Argent X. But in addition, there's a second key, the Argent Shield living on the Argent side. And now you need both signatures to execute a transaction successfully. So let's maybe go through that step by step. So first, I mean, obviously you need to do this 2FA step. So you need to first activate it, and then second, obviously provide so we send you the code, you take the code, and then you can authenticate that you control this email. And only if you control your email, which is bound to this account, you have access to that. So, and then how would a transaction work now to adapt? Basically, okay, let's do a swap again. So first, you will do a transaction with, basically Argent X will ask Argent Shield, can you sign this transaction? And since you did this 2FA step, it will happen, right? And you get a valid signature. And then second, you do another transaction or a signature basically with Argent X, and then you have two signatures. So one signature coming from your seed phrase like before, one signature coming from Argent Shield. And only then you will be able to execute it on the smart contract. If one of them is missing, it won't work. And yeah, this is just the call to the DApp at the end of the day. So this is how it works. And obviously, I mean, we have chosen now as a second factor email, but there could be other second factors. I mean, you can use also mobile as a second factor, or I mean, from other 2FA applications in the Web2 world, obviously Google Authenticator. So there are many ways you can do that. We started with email because this has other advantages, which we will show later. I can go, first, before we do that, let's jump back to Argent X. So looking back, now you see the transaction, I mean, it got executed, right? So passed. And now you see this little shield symbol to your Argent account. And now this account is fully protected by Shield. And now you can use it as before, actually. So if you do now a send, there's no problem. I mean, you can just do whatever. Sending something, let's say to myself now, there's no issue. You can just execute it. So it behaves like before. Now let's see if you would use or if you would basically take the seed phrase of this account and you set up a new device, which we will do now in another browser. So, and I will copy the seed phrase from somewhere now. Okay. And now you restore. We enter the seed phrase. So, okay. So this will take a second. Okay, now it's restoring. I mean, it needs to find the accounts on chain. This happened now. And now you see the same account, right? And you see the shield symbol. It feels like normal. But if you want to go ahead now and let's say do a send, you will immediately be stopped, right? Because now you need to verify again. This is a new device, so it's not, it doesn't have any authentication with Shield. So you need to now confirm that you also control the email address, right? And this is the experience as a user if you would set it up on a new device, but now you would just need to provide it and put in the code again, and that's fine. But it also shows how it would be if someone else somehow gets access to your seed phrase. I mean, obviously you need to take care always of protecting your seed phrase, but I mean, through those social engineering attacks or whatever, it can happen and you lose your seed phrase, someone gets access to it. And then in that case, he will be stuck there as well, like this hacker person, right? will be stuck there as well and cannot do anything with this account. And this is not just, Argent X blocking the UI or something. It's really like looking back on what I've shown. I mean, the second signature from Shield is missing. So there's no way, even if you would now, let's say, I don't know, write your own script using the seed phrase and try to do that, it will be blocked on the smart contract level because you cannot provide the second signature. And this is how it is protected. I'm just thinking, something else I wanted to show. So you can see I have multiple accounts here, and two of them are shielded. And there's one account which has no shield because I've never activated it for it. So this is obviously now still only the seed based on the seed phrase. So if you want to, in this case, if we want to send something, right, nothing will block it. So we go ahead and you see there's no, I can just execute. So it's really, really important. I mean, only shielded accounts are obviously protected by this mechanism. It's not like every account, if you don't activate it, it's not protected, in short. So that's this. Going back to the slides. Yep. Okay. I can give you, sorry. Okay, so this is what Argent Shield is today. It protects your account. If you use a new device, you need to do 2FA again. But we have more features upcoming for Argent Shield, so we will extend it in the coming month. And I just want to give you a quick outlook on that. So the next two steps would be, or next two features would be also to have 2FA on high-risk transactions. So it will ask you then basically if you want to do another transaction. Today, I mean, you can just do all transactions as soon as you have done it once. But in the future then, if we consider a transaction with our fraud monitoring as risky, then we would basically ask you to confirm that again with the 2FA code. And in addition, you get the same information about the transaction and the risks on a second channel, basically your email, right? We would show you this transaction, this is happening, these risks you have with the transaction. And this is an additional protection in case, I mean, sometimes there are even things there are malicious dApps, you miss something on Argent Shield. Also, we try to show you everything as good as possible. Or even, I mean, there are malicious extensions you could have in the browser and then you won't see it. So there's basically a second channel of information to show you what you will sign. And then you could still not do it. And a more harder version of this is then also if, let's say, you have an account with lots of funds, or it's more like, cold wallet, you don't do much there, or you just want to have maximum security on everything, you can have obviously 2FA also on every transaction. It's no problem. And then you will, whatever you do, you will get the 2FA request, and second, you get through email basically the transaction details, and you can double check if everything is okay. So this is coming later. And now I want to start the question part. Maybe some of you have some questions about Shield. I would start quickly with a few which I have seen already on Twitter and other channels. So can I switch it off? Of course, as I said, one click, one transaction, Argent Shield is off again. Is this still non-custodial? I'm still in control of my funds. Yes, absolutely. I mean, Argent has never access to your funds. I mean, you need both signatures, right? Not just one. Last, is it censorship resistant? So let's say in the case Argent has an issue or it's not available in an emergency case, I mean, then you could still trigger. So we have a mechanism basically built into the smart contract that you can just escape. So you remove shield with a single transaction where you don't need 2FA approval actually. And then after 7 days as a security period, Argent Shield will be deactivated and you have it like a normal account again. And another question we got also is like, what if I lose access to my email? I mean, hopefully you take care that you always have access to your email, particularly if it's securing an account. But in the case, for whatever reason, you lose it, you can do the same, basically. You can also trigger the escape mechanism, and then you have 7 days of security period, and then Argent Shield will be deactivated. So coming back to the main properties, I think I've explained all of this. So I would like to open up for questions. And I will check what I see in the channel. Okay, there's one. So only email, no third party 2FA. I see that one. Yes, so we start with email, but we can extend it easily to other factors, and we will do that. So at a later point. But email gives you, again, as I said, like also this additional information channel, right, where you can see what the transaction is doing. Anything else? No, don't see much more. Checking here. So I think at start, good question. At start, we would provide a solution for that, but we will also work with maybe third-party providers who are very good at protecting risky transactions. And yeah, in general, this model could be extended to other parties. So it's not just Argent. I mean, we will try to get the best solution working, basically, because it's still a huge problem in Web3 or in crypto. So yeah. Any other questions? Otherwise, I think. Yes, otherwise, I think we are good. So thanks everyone for joining, and yeah, try it out and give us feedback. That would be really cool. Thanks everyone.